Hello wonderful people, welcome to my tutorial for today. I hope you are doing okay. By the way, compliments of the season are in order. Yes, welcome back for today's tutorial, and thank you for subscribing. If you are new, you are welcome as well. Feel free to subscribe, we'll appreciate that, and also tap on the bell so that whenever I upload you get notified. So today we are going to be making this dress that appears on the screen. Okay, it's a straight cut dress with a little bit of patches, stripe patches. Okay, and I have here 6 yards of this material, but I'm not going to be using it. I tend to use about 3 yards from here. Okay, so quickly we'll cut the lower part, which by now I know everyone must have gotten used to. So using the widest measurement at the lower part, which is the hip, I'm going to fold this one with a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'm going to pause the video and adjust this properly. Okay, this is already in 2, so you just fold again, making it into 4. That way you are cutting both the front and the back. Okay, so now I've folded it, and I have this is our starting point, which is forming the waistline. This is the hip line, the knee line, and then the last one is the length of my dress. Hope you see it. This one is the length of my dress. Okay, so I'm going to now place my waist measurement here, hip measurement here, waist is 35 into 4 will give us 8.75. I'll add 3 inches. I'm going to be using 1 for that, 2 for sewing allowance. Okay, hip is 46 into 4 is 11.5. I'll add 2 inches for sewing allowance. I'll connect this one okay. I will take this hip measurement down to the hemline of 14, which is exactly what we have here. Let me shift it. Okay, so I'll now take 2.5 inches here. With my ruler, I'm going to connect it here. Okay, so this is for the skirt. This knee line, we really don't have need for it. Okay, but there are some kind of straight cut that when you are making, you will need this place just to give it a little bit fitting at the knee side. So I'll notch the actual length. And then we'll move to the upper part, which is your princess bustier. Okay, so I cut this using the half length measurement and also the bust measurement. Okay, so this is for the front. I'm taking the shoulder measurement, which is 16 into 2 is 8. And this is 3 inches for shoulder slope, and the shoulder I'll take 1 inch for shoulder slope. Okay. And I'll measure 3 inches down. This is not standard, but that's what I like to use. So this is 3 inches here. Next will be to take my shoulder to bust, which is 10.5. I'll add half an inch that I'll use to join at this shoulder. So I'm marking 11 inches. Next will be to take my under bust, which is 13. I'm marking 13 and half. Sorry, please. It's 13 and half, so I'm marking 14. Next to follow will be my bust span, 8 inches. My sewing allowance for this place is always 1/4 of an inch, so I'm marking 4 1/4. 4 1/4 at the under bust, 4 1/4 at the waistline. Okay, so I'll now connect from here to this line. Okay, so this is the center front. I'm notching the under bust and the shoulder to bust. Next will be to cut the sides. Like I always say, you make sure you have up to 3 inches towards this side. Okay, so I place my center front this way. First thing will be to trace this shape out. Followed by marking or identifying the notch points, the shoulder to bust and the under bust. Okay, then I'll place my armhole measurement, 9 inches. Okay, I'll rather leave it when I'm joining. I'll trim it off. Then I'll place my bust and my waist measurement. Bust is 41 into 4 is 10.25, that's 10 1/4. I'm using an allowance of 2 inches, which actually is useless because the bulge, the curve that is here will give enough allowance. Waist measurement is 35 into 4, 8.75. Allowance of, I'll use 3 inches. Now on this my shoulder to bust, I'll measure. This my client actually doesn't have bust, but she has shoulder, so I will use 2 1/4 of an inch and connect to here and then to the under bust. And then cut. Okay, so now we have the front and the back. Next will be to put the neck. I'll just use a normal round neck width of 5 inches, neck volume 5 inches, or 5.5 inches. Alright, so this is for the back. I cut it using the bust measurement. I have a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. I already have the length here. Shoulder, this is also 3 inches for shoulder slope. Here I'll come down by 1, exactly what I did at the front. Okay. Armhole of, I think I used 9 at the front. Neck width 5 inches, neck volume for the back 5 inches as well. So I'm going to be placing my bust measurements 10.25, allowance of 2.5 inches, waist 8.75, allowance of 3.5 inches. Okay, so let's use a princess dart for this back. My bust span is 4 inches. So I'll use half an inch to join here. So I'm measuring 4.5 inches. My bust span, sorry, is 8 inches. Unfold 4 inches. Sorry, please. So I don't confuse you. Okay. Now, normally I like to use the midpoint of my armhole, but not all the time. Okay. This is the midpoint of my armhole. So sometimes when I look at that it's too close or it will not be cute, I raise it up a little. So I'll use 3 inches from the shoulder. So I'll find a way to just connect it to this line. Okay. Now having done that, I will extend this armhole by 1 inch. If you don't do this, your armhole will short. These pieces of fabric will short. Okay, so now I will change the shoulder. Sorry, I'll change the armhole. I hope you see it. So now we are not making use of this armhole again. We are now using this one. Okay, I really hope you can see it. All right. So you see how it is. You see the excess here. Okay. So because of this little allowance here, I'm going to just leave it. It won't do you any harm if you leave it. So I'm going to just let it go. Next will be to reduce the length of this center back. I'll reduce it by half an inch. Okay, I hope you see it. I hope you see it. So I'm cutting this one off. This is to remove that bulge at the zip line. Right, I'm moving this. Okay. You can also shorten this zipper allowance. You can also shorten it, like for example, but I will leave it. When I'm putting the zip, I will do it. You can remove half an inch here and put it back here. That way you now have a new zipper allowance. But it's advisable that you do this before cutting here, so that this place is not too narrow. I hope you understand. Okay, when I'm putting my zip, I will do this. Okay, so if you do like this, it means you are cutting this part like this off. Okay, all right. Next will now be to cut the lining, cut the wooden, and then we'll come back. Alright, so I've cut the lining, everything. This is for the front, this is for the back, and even the skirt. Okay, and this is how I'm going to be lining it for those who are joining us afresh. You know, I already notched my actual length here. Okay, placing the lining at the right side of my fabric, I'm going to sew here. First of all, when I sew, I will drag it this way. I will drag the lining, okay, so that it gets to the actual length of my dress where I notched. Okay, when it gets there, I will sew it down. Do the same thing at the other side. Okay, and then for this one, I already cut the wooden as well. I hope you see it. Okay, but before I line this one, I'm going to attach this piece of fabric. This is just a bias. My tape. Alright, this is just my normal doll face satin, please, not bias. Okay, about 2 inches on fold. Okay, now I notched the midpoint of this my center front at the front. I also notched at the lower part, as you can see if you look closely. Okay, I hope you can see it if you look closely. This is it at the upper part, the neck side. Okay, so what I will do is I will make sure that this piece of fabric sits at the center of this neckline and this waistline. Okay, so I'm going to sew at one end, and then I'll sew it like this. Stop, say maybe at this point. Okay, and then turn it towards this side and sew, and also stop at this point. Okay, when I do that, I will then join these two. Okay, I will join and sew, join this side and sew before I line. Okay, so what it means is that when I attach, this excess will just be flowing because I'll be needing it at the lower part. Okay, I hope you understand. So now, let me repeat, before I line this one, I'll first of all attach this one like this. I will sew, fold like this, and sew, making sure it sits at the center of this center front, okay, where I have my notch. But I'm not sewing to get to this waistline. It has to end maybe like here. Alright. And then for the back, I'm going to join the fabrics together separately, join the lining separately, and then line them, okay, the normal way. Okay, so I've done the lining for the back. You can see it. See this also, and this is the front. I hope you see it. Okay, so next thing will be to join this at the shoulder like this, and then I will sew. Okay, and then for this lower part, there is a pocket. We should have talked about it before the lining. There's a pocket. Okay, so this is how we are going to be putting the pocket. This is the placement for my dart. That is 4.5 inches. By the time I take ½ inch on both sides, I'll have 4 inches left here. Okay, and this is my actual waist that I'm working with here. This is the hip. This is the hip here. I hope you are following. Okay, so the pocket should be, let's say, I'm taking ½ inch here. Don't forget, please. The pocket should be maybe, yeah, from that ½ inch to 7 inches. Let's see. Okay, so when I'm sewing, I'll sew like this. I hope you understood the magic. Okay, so I'll cut here off now. Oh, only the front to, there you go. I've done a huge mistake now. Only the front, please. so we are going to be replacing it also. Alright, so we are replacing it. You see, it's long enough to go from here to here. That is from here to here. Okay, this is it. I hope you see it. Let me measure it, because somebody will still ask me. It's about 12 inches, and this is 12 inches here. I hope you see it. So it's long enough to form a pocket, and then the width is 9.5 inches. So we put it back like this. And cut. Alright, so this is one. We'll cut another one, the second one. This is of the same measurement as well. You can use this one. You can choose to leave it like this, but I just want to curve it. So this is one pocket. So I'm going to still cut another one like this for the other side. Alright, so now having cut it, what you should do is to join them here. Okay, this is the pocket though. Okay, we join them here. Let me place it here so that you will understand it better. I hope you see it. So you sew here as I have just done, and then attach here. I hope you see it. You attach like this. You sew it again, joining the pockets now. Okay, you do the same thing at this other side. I hope you see it before we now come to measure the band. Okay, so now having joined it, I hope you see it. Okay, next will be to now cut out the band for the facing at the pocket. So I'm going to use this as my pattern. I want to trace out the shape of this pocket. You know it is not straight. So I'll just mark it out. And then decide how many inches I want to use. Okay, so you should have something like this. I hope you see it. So I'll use this and cut the satin. Okay, so I now have it cut out. Next will be to go to the machine and sew this curvy part. This one. Okay, I'll sew it. Alright, so next will be to now attach it. Attach from the inside, then bring it forward. But before then, I'll need to press it down. So you attach it from the wrong side. You see it's like this, so you attach from under, turn it over like this, stop stitch, and then sew it on top. Okay, when you finish, you hold it here, then continue with your lining. And so this is what you have when you hold it down. Okay, I now go ahead and continue my lining. I will drag the lining like this. I hope you see it. And then I will sew. Do the same on the other side, turn it and close it at the waistline. Alright, so I've joined them, as you can see. I'm really trying to make sure the video is not too long. Okay, if you see it, I also made sure I rolled at the midpoint of the lower part of the dress. So I'm going to continue the way I did at this upper part. I will continue. So I will attach like this. I will sew down, and then I will turn again and sew. At this hemline, it's either I fold it in this way, and sew and close it, okay, or I put it this way, sew, then turn and close. Anyone you do is fine. Also, let me mention that because of this pocket and this stuff at the side, putting that here may be difficult for you, okay? But if you have a way to still fix your dart, it's going to be small now, okay? If you have a way to fix your dart, you can still go ahead and fix. Like mine, I still placed my dart, but it's very slim. I still placed it, okay? So I will do this now. Close it up at the back side, okay? I'll close it up at the back side, leaving my opening for slit, and then for zip I will attach the zip as well, so that what will be left will be to close at the two sides and then cut out our sleeve. Alright, so I've done the joining at the two sides. Like I've used the body measurements to close it up at the two sides, but the back is still open. Okay, I used my pin to pin the back together because I needed to put this cross in here. Okay, so all I did was to attach this of about 2 inches. Okay, as you can see, I placed it this way, and so let me keep it like this so you understand. I placed it this way. This is the upper part, and so I'm going to hold it down like this and then hold it down. Okay, I'm going to now press it. Make sure I pressed it very well. Excuse me, Mama, stop. I'll make sure I press it very well, and then I'll sew it round. Then I will close the back I'll then close the back, put my zip. Okay, please, when you are closing, when you are joining them at the two sides, ensure that whatever you took at the hip is what you will take at the lower part of the dress. This is what I mean. If you look closely, you will see the distance between here and here. You have to maintain it down so that you get a very straight and neat work. Okay, look at this side also. It's the same thing. So if you took 2 inches here at the hip line, maintain that 2 inches down. Remember, that was what we took down to the hemline before we removed our 2.5 inches. I hope you remember. So you take that 2 inches from the hip down to the hemline. Don't be tempted to take 2 inches here and then you come to the hemline and you're taking 1 inch or 1.5. Just maintain that 2 inches. Okay, so with this done now, what is left is just for us to cut and attach the sleeve. Okay, so I'll be cutting the two at the same time. It's going to be a circle sleeve. As you can see, I folded it. I'll do like this again. I'll turn it over to this side. Yeah. I'm going to start my measurements from here. And I'll use, sorry please, I think 13 inches is okay. So I'll measure 13 inches all around. Sorry, let me get the white chalk. Okay, so I'm just going to do a free hand. Okay. I don't want it to be too wide, so I'll trim it off a little, yeah. So I'll cut the lining and line it properly. Okay, so I'm going to sew here, the lower part. Okay. I'll just sew here, turn, and then close every other side. Alright, my lovely people, we've come to the end of the tutorial with the sleeve properly attached. Okay, thank you for staying till the end. If you are still here, please subscribe to our channel if you are yet to do so, and also tap on the bell so that when I upload you get notified. Okay, to my existing subscribers, thank you very much. Till we meet in my next tutorial, I love you all, take care of you, and bye bye.